go ahead and start the meeting, Rick.
Let's get the meeting going here.
Okay.
Let me do this. Want to welcome everybody to the Max Mandel Golf Course Committee meeting for the month of March. Today is March the 18th. We will be conducting this meeting by order of the Greg Abbott, conducting public meetings through the WebEx system or can you call roll call, please?
Yes, sir, Mr. Vice Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Mr. Gomez. I'm the Parks Director overseeing the committee. I know we have some new members, and I will go ahead and introduce them to Rick Garza.
I am here.
Present. Mr. Louis Pellegrin.
Present.
Mr. Gary Jacobs. Absent. Mr. Ricardo Contreras.
Present.
Mr. Tony Martinez.
Here.
Mr. Fernando Rodriguez.
Present.
Mr. Joaquin Rodriguez.
Present.
Okay, Mr. Chair, we have a quorum.
Excellent.
So, before you continue with the meeting, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. I just want to welcome two new committee members, appointees from our new from District 7, and Mr. Fernando Rodriguez. He's our new appointee for District 7. And for District 5, Mr. Ricardo Contreras. Want to welcome you all to the committee, and we're looking forward to working with you all. And we all here to improve the facility, and hopefully we'll that's what our goal here is for this committee that initially was brought on. So thank you for joining us, and Mr. Chair, go ahead and take it from there.
Yeah, I don't know if all of you got a chance to review the minutes or last chance or look through it a little bit, but we have to vote on approving them for this meeting. So for those of you that have, I am calling for the question on the approval of the minutes for last month. Can I hear a second for that?
Second.
All those in favor?
I'm sorry, who's second? Tony Martinez second.
Yes, Tony Martinez second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, the ayes have it. Next item on the agenda, JJ.
Public comments. I don't think anybody signed up for public comments, Mr. Chair. Nobody signed up for the next item on the agenda is items for discussion with possible action. We have no items at this moment for action. We will hopefully soon the next one once we get more information on a couple of things. But right now there is no items to be voted on. Okay.
JJ, just one of the things by way of I guess procedural and so that everybody can be on board, especially our new members. It'd be a good idea that, and I think I mentioned it in the past, that every time that we have this meeting, let's go over, if you can separate and do a synopsis of the of last month's meeting and put the key points in order of what we discussed and what we were looking at and ideas that we were considering and all those types of things that we talked about and that each member brought to the board. And let's so that we don't leave any open-ended questions or anything like that. We want to find out what happened, what transpired from last month to this month according to those issues. For instance, I know that you were talking to Mr. McGee about the signage, and it's not part of this, other than the staff reports that you have. It might
Right.
not be part of the staff report, but that you might give a brief description of where we stand on all those things. That way, anybody that's new to the committee or existing members can say, okay, here's, and get a mental picture of where we stand on all those things.
Okay. Okay, I understand. So we'll go ahead and do that, like a little summary of what was, and updates of where we're at with what we discussed in the previous meeting. Is that correct?
So Enrique can get a little bit of understanding of where we stand from the past issues, and then later on any given moment, if you I think what we need to start doing and preparing for over the next couple of months is to have, for lack of a better word, an audit of the last 2 years that we've been together and what we've accomplished and where we're headed. That way we can also, the new members can be understanding, and it won't be a repetitive thing for everybody to bring back things that we've already discussed, but sort of continue through them.
Okay, I understand. All right, no, so we can kind of do a timeline of what's going, from the time we started, where we at, and we go from there. Okay, no, we'll definitely bring that up, Rick, and yeah, you got it right, great idea, especially with new members coming on, that what's happened in the last year. I think we've met for about a year and a half now, or so, a little bit, maybe a little bit over, close to a year, to 2 years that we started this, so that way they can be aware of what's going on. I will definitely get you that, Mr. Chair. Okay. Okay. So I'll go over a couple of staff reports. Mr. McGee wasn't able to join us today. He's out of town. That's why I wanted him to explain. But eventually, what I'm going to do on that end to explain what you're saying, he's going to email me the final product and the timeline when it's going to be going up, so you all can see how the signs are going to be up. It should be up hopefully in the next couple of weeks, from what I understand. Okay, but he wasn't able to be here today. That's why he wanted to just talk to you all. But he's going to email me the product and the timeline when he's looking at to put up the signs for the max committee members, and we came up with a sign, and you'll see it in the email, and then we can hopefully by next time we meet, they should be up already. Okay. Okay. So next thing on the agenda, Mr. Chair, is staff reports. Number one, the status of golf course lighting project. So for the committee members that are new, we're not here. So what we're looking into possibly is lighting for first phase A is lighting up the golf range, the range of the practice range. Okay, that's what we're going to look up post 10, 11, and 12. Okay, so also Mr. McGee, our traffic director, is also got a company coming in, AMC or ACC or something like that. Again, unfortunately, he wasn't here to be with us today, but in speaking to him earlier this week, they're going to give us a proposition. Okay, this is how much it's going to be. This is how much it's going to be for phase A, and this is how much it's going to be for phase B. And being that, I think if you all agree, I think we talked about that the first thing to light up it will be the range, so that we can start from there, and then the same company will come back, and once we pick the 3 holes, if we the 10, 11, and 12, I know we discussed about lighting up those holes. But so we can kind of have an idea of the total, and then phase A, how much that would be, and how much phase B that would be. Okay, so that's where we're at right now. So in that same email, he told me we're gonna send it to you. We're gonna sending you the cost of how much it would be for phase A and how much it would be for phase B. If there's any other any questions or any concerns, any that I can help you with?
Coach,
This is Luis Pellegrin here. I'd like to know, how much is it going to cost to play those 3 holes?
Say it again.
The cost of playing the 3 holes, are you going to charge for the 3 holes that are lit?
That's I mean, Dennis, I know you went to a similar facility. I'm actually heading to San Antonio today after work, and I'm gonna drive by there, go take a look. And Dennis and Mr. McGee, I spoke to Mr. McGee this morning. Hopefully, we want to go next week. But Dennis, what are the fees there normally? What was the cost when San Antonio what they were playing?
It was about $12 to $15 for 9 holes. I'm sorry, but no golf carts. So we thought once we get the price of how much it's going to cost and all that, we'll definitely look into it. But it was more going to be a come practice and then play 9 and play your 3 holes. And this is for the people that get out at 6:37. They don't want to play 9. They don't want to play 18 because they don't have the time.
Right.
But they could definitely come in, get a large bucket, and then play 3 holes. Maybe do a combo for like walking, $13, and then it's if they were to want to ride, and we got to check all the, I guess, safety precautions, how we're gonna handle it, and then it'd probably be like a $15 surcharge for the cart, or maybe even 10 because it's only 3 holes. So those are the different options we were looking at. But if we just leave it walking, you'd be talking about a large bucket is $9, maybe $6 on top of that to play the 3 holes and come back, and you can chip and putt after that. It's more of a training, get ready, learn how to play baby steps on when you get ready for the big course, but obviously eliminating being in the heat, the Laredo heat that we're getting ready to be part of.
I think it's a great idea. I'm just wondering, for golfers like me that are having to look to lost balls a lot, I'm wondering how we're going to do it at nighttime.
We're going to get going to dark balls, Mr. Palini. You'll be surprised. I would really like for, whenever the golf committee could, now that COVID is, getting better, take a trip out there, because you'll be surprised how much fun it was. I took my staff. It was our Christmas little, party. I took them out there and they couldn't believe it. And these are all beginning golfers, and we didn't lose the ball. And it wasn't like 20 lights per hole. It was 3 lights, about 110 to 87 yard shots. Just, and it's a really good way to practice for when you get on the big course,
Yeah, I agree.
Possibly, maybe we can set up a date and where we can make it. That Rick, maybe the committee members would like to go out there and go see the San Antonio facility. Just to have an idea. So
it's their biggest moneymaker, Coach.
Say it again.
Wow.
It's their biggest moneymaker. Tom spoke to the superintendent. He goes, "We can't. It started beating out Cedar Creek and all that because they're open all day, so 11 at night.
Oh,
So it's become their big. It's their moneymaker. It's their golden child."
And guys, that facility wasn't great in 2005. Forgive me, in 2008, 2009. I mean, the city of San Antonio put in a ton of money into that facility, and that's what's made it the money maker. Because I remember playing that par 3 at San Pedro. I mean, it was really just a range with 9 crappy holes that you could, play. But now, way different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
it's on San Pedro, correct? Just south of North Star Mall. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
So question, Dennis. So you're saying the holes that were going to be lit were 10, 11, and 12?
We brought it up, and Mr. Jacobs wanted to make sure that the lighting wasn't going to affect the neighborhoods that are there. But when this course was first made, they made 10, 11, 12 to be part of the range, so that there was going to be a full-time instruction school, and they were going to use 10, 11, 12. That's why it's a par 5, par 4, and a par 3. Yeah. So you could get a mix of all of them. And then I know me and Coach kind of talked about it. Maybe at night those holes just turn into par 3s. We don't try to light them up from 600 yards away to utilize them. You have a little separate tee box, maybe without affecting the golf course. Just set a set of tees on the right side or the left side that would be set out at night. The guys could go set them up at 6 in the afternoon in the summer, and in the winter we're like at 4 because it gets dark by 5.
Right. That was my issue. If it's a par 5, that's a lot of ground to cover. So it'd be more practical to have trees. But since you don't have them so close together, ideally that would be the situation. But if we can light up that par 5, I think it's a great deal because they're so close together.
Yeah, it would be awesome if we can.
So Dennis, I'm sorry. So originally the plan was, when this was designed, was for that then, so that we can be into night course for 10, 11, and 12 and close to the range. That was what it was originally intended for. So is that correct? Or
for an academy that was going to be hey, you did the academy, then you would walk 10, 11, and 12, work on your game with the instructor, and then, go back to the range and finish off your lesson or however the case was. That's why it was built that way.
JJ, I think, and I agree. It's a great idea. It's something that people should get excited about because this course is offering more and more availability and accessibility to the public, especially, and then you can look at it the other way. You can go at night because you don't have to really deal with the truck traffic and everything like that. So we're doing our part. So I think that the important part of that, I guess the excursion to go out there and visit that is to have a lined up set of questions that need to be asked so that we can come in terms of parking, in terms of I'm not parking, but pricing. What can we offer that or what we cannot offer that they offer over there because it might not be in the best interest of the max. And things like that, so that and it's going to be a fact-finding mission, but it's going to have to also be something that is going to be that we can have attainable goals towards, and not necessarily just jump in like they do, right? I mean, obviously, the city, like Joaquin said, the city of San Antonio did dump a lot of money into it. It could be attainable over the next 4 or 5 years, and build up that that part of the golf course the way it's supposed to be. For instance, the lighting. If the cost is going to be, it might be a deal breaker because we might not be able to afford it, right? But it's certainly useful information to get all that pricing in and find different ways of getting it done to introduce it to our customers. So I'm interested in asking a lot of questions that are going to pertain to that, because all those questions are going to come back to us. Once people find out, I mean, we're a pretty receptive group here, and we don't necessarily because we like it so much over there that we might be getting some sort of pushback on this, and we need to be ready for and have all those answers, ready to go.
Right. I think, Rick, Mr. Gomez, this is JJ Gomez. I think once we get the numbers of the pricing, and then we'll have it for the next meeting so we can move forward with it. I think it's important that you all talk to your council member representatives that how important this would be. As far as for the funding, we have the sports venue tax account that we use, that will be used for this. It will be as an investment, ¿verdad? It will be some kind of investment that we can get back in return. And not so much for quality of life, but also to get some money back into the max. But once we have that, and you get the okay from the committee to proceed, then before it gets to the council members to go ahead and move on to it, they already have an idea to hear it from you all that we're recommending this. Yeah, I mean, I think that'll be the best bet.
Yeah, I mean, and then I guess for the new members, the idea that in this committee, and it's been, I mean, it's something personal for me in terms of what I wanted to see, and I think it's an agreement by everybody else in here, is that we really want to make this golf course as self-sufficient as possible. That taxpayer dollars don't necessarily get used for a lot of these things, because a lot of the fees that we pay out there's some monies that are set aside for these type of projects, and hopefully we can self-fund. And that's the selling point to the public, in my mind, for everything that we do, that we become self-sufficient and self-funding so that the taxpayers don't get the burden of that hit. And in some cases, there is going to be like that venue tax that you're talking about. But in a lot of these cases, if we can show to the public that with this course is as self-sufficient as possible, then it's easier for us to sell those type of things, those type of projects.
Right. I agree. But I do, maybe we can set up a date and maybe in the next couple of weeks or so and drive to San Antonio, those that can make it, maybe on a Friday, so that we can have an idea of what we're talking about. So I'm going to be up there this weekend. I'm going to go see it for sure. But we can maybe come up with a date, and we'll email everybody, so whoever can make it, and on a Friday evening, and go out there and go before maybe possibly before the next meeting. Okay.
You can wear your belt, your championship belt, Rick.
Hey, Rick, ya me platicaron, Rick. Okay. So,
I slept with that thing all night, man. It was good.
okay, any other questions before we move on?
It really was.
Okay, any other questions before we go on to the next item? Well, you will get those prices in the next 7 to 10 days. Phase A, which is a golf course, which is a golf range, and then Phase B, which will be the 3 holes. Okay, and then we can discuss it and tell you all to move forward. Then we'll go ahead and present it to the council members to see if we can get approval for that. Okay.
Coach, I have one question that comes to
Okay.
mind. If you don't mind. I was just asking because if this is going to be in phases, I understand that we're going to have to pay an amount now, and then when we start Phase B, an amount in the future. My concern is, like with everything else, materials get more expensive, labor becomes more expensive, everything with the passage of time becomes more expensive. Is it any possible way to get 2 estimates? You get an estimate for Phase A, you get an estimate for Phase B, and then get an estimate for both together. And if it ends up saving us money in the long run, I think that may be something that we can put forward to council in an effort to sell this idea.
Okay.
You know?
Yes, I understand.
Just an estimate. I mean, it's
Sure.
just, that would be my thing.
Right. So let me make sure I get this right. So we get a Phase A price, we get a Phase B price, and then we get a Phase C. Everything complete. So everything together for manpower, materials, everything's already brought in at the same time and get it done all at once. Correct?
Yes, because then we end up with a Loop 20 situation where we put money into it every 5 years, and then Loop 20 takes 20 years to build, and
Right.
it gets way more expensive.
I understand. Okay. And all the logistics and all the transport and materials maybe can be done at the same time. So sure. That way it's easier to sell to the council in case we can see what we're looking at, and maybe possibly save. Definitely, we'll have to save some money. We would save money on that. So I would definitely tell that to Mr. McGee, so he can tell that to the company when they're getting ready to give us the price, which will be in the next 7 or 10 days. Okay.
Perfect.
All right. Yes, sir, Mr. Rodriguez. Thank you. Sure will. You got that down? Okay. Next, number 2 is golf course maintenance and schedule report. Tom, the superintendent, sent me a schedule. Let me see if I can share my video here with you all. You all know we had Dennis can kind of talk while I do this, a big storm, ice storm that came through. And Dennis, you want to elaborate on that while I get this thing taken care of here? I can share the screen.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, we're all aware of the winter freeze that happened here in Laredo. Luckily, the max has rebounded. I don't know if anybody's been out here in the last week or so. Everything's greening up, but unfortunately, we did lose some palm trees, especially around the clubhouse. Tom speaks to it a little bit on the report. So that's something that he wants to address next, so we can put him on the meeting for the next call, just so we can go over what he thinks it would cost to, go in there, pull out, and go ahead and replant some plants that aren't going to make it back. But overall, I think we had very minor damage as opposed to other golf courses that were up north. We did have a frozen pipe on the pump. Toro, drove down 35, hitting every golf course on the way down, replacing that piece of copper that unfortunately froze and was damaged and had to be replaced. So right now we're at full function. The guys have checked everything out. We seem to be good. Like I said, other than a few palm trees that didn't make it and a couple of plants, we're in pretty good shape for the spring.
Thank you, David. Can you all see the screen? The report you sent me? Can you all read that? Let me go ahead and go over it, and then I'll what I have here on the screen. Let me summaries. Course turf grass survived the recent cold snap without any issues. Only action has been a delayed greening response coming out of winter dormancy. With rapidly warming days of the last week, the course is making up ground quickly. I would expect over the next 2 weeks the turf to be fully awake and actively growing. Clubhouse grounds were the only place affected by the freeze with some dead landscape plantings. The list includes sago palms, bougainvilleas, and agave plants. We are currently coming up with a plan for replacement on the affected plants. As for the greens, coming out of dormancy, we have recently fertilized with 0.5 pounds per 1,000 of soluble fertilizer to kickstart the growing season. Aeration will be done in the first half of April. So that's for the greens. Fairway tees and rough, treated with pre-emerging fertilizer combo the first week in March. The first week of March. This application addresses two issues. One, giving us a season-long control of grassy weeds, such as crabgrass and goosegrass, and the other giving us 1 pound of nitrogen fertilizer to help start the growing season. Projects: stump removal, grinding approximately number of stumps to be removed, 25. I don't know what that means. Dennis, you know about what that means?
Yeah, so over the years we've lost several trees, and they've gotten down to the stump. And I've been meaning to talk to you about that. I don't know if you guys have a stump remover where they can grind it in a little bit below the actual surface so that they can start growing grass over it eventually again. I'm not sure if you guys. I know I already spoke to United Rental. They're getting me a price on Monday to see how much it would cost. It's just something that superintendents. It's something that they look at and they see it as an obstacle, so they want to remove it. It's just the stump of an old tree.
An old trees in?
Yeah,
Remove.
that it fell down.
I don't think we have one, Dennis, but I will check. I'll check with my.
Okay.
Okay. And then the last point: at future meetings, we'd like to discuss with the committee doing an in-house irrigation project along the roadway coming into the clubhouse, located next to the driving range and opposite side of the road along hole 13. The curb appeal we feel needs spruced up there with either native grass planting or turf grass extended down to the next to the road. In either case, supplemental irrigation will be needed in order to make the area attractive. May be a good spot for bluebonnets and wildflowers planting as well. So, as we're driving into the gate, is that right, Dennis? On both sides, irrigation there.
Correct. As soon as you come over a guardrail or cow rail or guardrail, whatever you want to call it, on both sides, for some reason, when they ran the sprinklers budget probably or something, they went to the line of right at where kind of people hit the ball. But as you got closer to the road, there's no water lines, sprinklers there. So Tom was saying that that's something he can do in-house, save us money, and it would definitely help our curb appeal, because it always stands out a little bit. It's your first impression after the arches, which are beautiful. But, obviously people already have that, oh, you're coming into a desert area, there's probably not going to be grass and turf. And really, that's the only area in the whole golf course that doesn't have turf. And the reason being is that there's no water lines there for the sprinklers. So he can definitely extend what's already there for a minimal expense compared to what it would cost to bring in somebody, outsource somebody.
Okay.
It's a good idea.
And he's thinking, capital contribution fund, we can access that. So it doesn't hit the budget, but it definitely would, make it a lot more appealing. I don't know about blue bonnet balls there. I've seen Rick Glass warm up, and I don't know, they'd be in danger in that area.
Yeah,
People would be stopping to take pictures.
yeah, no, I want the blue bonnets. I actually want us to, and that's something that we'll talk about later on. But there's got to be a little bit, yeah, like you said, the arches coming into the max area from Mines Road is good. But further on down the line, we really need to separate ourselves a little bit in terms of not separate ourselves with from the development or anything like that, but separate ourselves and make it a nicer entrance when you get to the golf course that
Correct.
says you're coming in. And I think over the long run, people will greatly appreciate that, because we can showcase a lot of that stuff.
Yeah,
and if
last year we bought it.
You set up the water. I mean, it's even better.
Mm-hmm. Last year we bought a 50-pound bag of blue bonnets, but with the COVID hit, we still have it there. It's blue bonnet seeds. So we're gonna experiment with planting them over here by the cemetery, and we already get probably like 4 or 5 photo shoots a week. So this is only gonna help us, and we're looking at purchasing some foam letters that say "Love Laredo," or how people are putting those on social media where they can post next to it says "I love Laredo," "I love the Max," some big letters that can be outdoors, and just add more appeal to when people come take their photos, just to make it even more appealing than it already is in the spring and summer.
Correct.
Okay, so you all do that. You all would do that in house, Matt, or Dennis. The irrigation.
Yeah, Tom was hoping to do this a little bit earlier, just because in the growing season it's tough for them to be able to do both things. But maybe if you lend them some Parks and Rec guys,
Yeah, definitely. That's what I was saying. If we come up with it, let me know so I can send you some employees that are good for irrigation, so we can kind of help with the process there. Okay.
that'd be great. I'll let Tom know the good news, and then I'll have him, set up a proposal for us so we can know the cost of what it would cost us.
Right. For the new committee members, just so you know, it's the Parks and Rec. Whenever they have some job, for example, the sand that was brought in, we bring it. I send some of our employees to Parks and Rec and help them to help them whatever needs to get done to that course, so that we can be of help to them, because I know they're kind of short staffed and a lot of stuff. It's a big area to cover, so we help them. I send some employees over there to help them out. Okay. Any other questions on the maintenance of the course?
Just one thing. I think we're gonna. I don't know when you have it scheduled, but the striping and upkeep of the parking lot areas. I know it's starting to wear out. Might want to keep that in mind. Obviously, when they open up the clubhouse, we might have to introduce some other striping and things of that going up to the clubhouse to bring it or to make it a little bit more appealing, a little bit more organized in the way we do things out there.
Okay. Dennis, Dan McGee and traffic can do that for us. Just a matter of coordinating with them to get it going here pretty soon. Okay?
Yeah, we did it maybe 2.5 years ago when Mr. Eads was head of traffic. They brought somebody in and painted it. So yeah, it's about time to do it again. So
Okay.
hopefully we can talk to Dan and schedule it and see how much, we can see when we can do it.
Yeah, we'll get it done. I know I agree, Rick. I was there last week as well, and I didn't notice that. So
Yeah. I mean, as we go along, like I said, everything's going to have to be, and not, hey, Dennis, just another question. Do we have any water sources and I know the hill leading up to the clubhouse is water because you have grass growing on the side of those hills. Is there on those two mounds going into the parking lot on the left and on the right? We don't have any water source in there, right? For the
There
exit?
should be sprinklers. I think what happens there, he just needs to add some wetting agent. It helps, since it's a big slope. Anytime they water, the water's gonna roll right off, and it doesn't get to the same greeners as the other one. But they add a wetting agent, which basically helps it absorb the water a little more, and it'll green it up come summer.
Yeah, I'm thinking down the line also on the edges as you come in, coming right after the driving range. There's a little island in there that might need some beautification, and all of that. And maybe we can start off with that, and hopefully it'll take off to everything around the parking lot to be, I guess, green and flowery and really landscaped. A little bit more.
Oh, okay. I think I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, that I don't think has water, Rick. That's why they went with that desert scape. I don't know if it was, again, something having to do with budgets or something that they just said, no, we're not going to worry about it. We're going to leave it desert scape, where that little crushed rock is, correct?
Right. And then maybe, and then there's that mesquite that's right in front of that. So
Yeah.
those areas that we can work as part of our improvement plans as we go along over the next year, and make it our goal to make it a little bit more presentable, so that as soon as somebody gets in there, that the beauty of the course, it continues towards the parking lot area, and they see that it's well groomed, for lack of a better word, well groomed in that area and landscape, so that by the time they get to hole number one, they're just blown away by everything that's already here, and then the beauty of the course can take over after that.
Okay.
okay, we'll look into that, Mr. Rice. Okay. Any other questions before we go to the third? The third staff report is status on possible opening of the restaurant and clubhouse with CDC guidelines. I'll give you an update, and then Dennis can kind of chime in after me what the plan would be. So spoke to Dennis. being that, as you know, we're opening up in phases now. The max is under the city of Laredo, so we're the ones that have to be the example of everything. So to go. So in speaking with the health authority, Dr. Trevino and Mr. Chamberlain, they went ahead for us to go ahead and open the clubhouse at 50% outdoors only for now. Okay, being the patio and the upstairs as well. And then hopefully the numbers get better. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Dennis, maybe for some weeks or so, and then we can possibly looking into going inside, still being at 50%. And I know we talked about maybe possibly a plan and how we're going to do that and what we're going to do. Can you elaborate on that, please?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, well, like I said, we got the good news that we can go ahead and open the patio 50%. We're gonna go ahead and do it come next Friday. So when we have sundowners or whatever, we'll kind of use that as our little dry run and get it ready for Saturday. One thing that I didn't think about, Coach, that now that I have you here, is the restrooms. We can give them access to the restrooms inside, right?
That's
Because
correct.
they're not. Okay, perfect.
That's correct.
And, yeah, and we'll just take it easy and take it slow, and we, like you said, we'll set the example for the city. But it's we can see the light at the end of the tunnel so hopefully a few weeks of outdoor 50%, that way people can start enjoying our patio and having a beer after the round and so forth, and eventually 50% inside, and eventually hopefully by May or June I've got a list of weddings that are just ready to go, but we want to make sure it's safe, and not only for the guests but our employees also.
So there's no weddings going on until possibly June that you have scheduled right now. Is that correct?
My first wedding that is on the books is June. I have a couple of people that are waiting that if they open in May, they'll take it. They'll want to do the wedding in 2 weeks from when I tell them, yeah, no, I don't know if it's a shotgun wedding or what it is, but it's happening.
Okay. So can you más o menos describe how many tables we're looking at to put in like outside in the patio? Like how many we're looking at to put in the patio off the top of your head, and then maybe I don't know. We talked about using the upstairs patio as well. They can sit out there. People can sit out there as well.
So we have about 7 granite tables with about four chairs per table. They're spread out over a good, 80 to 100 feet. So we're going to space them out enough to where, maybe 10 feet between the tables, and that should cover a wraparound patio. So half will be under a patio, and then the other half will be in their nice terraza. And if we feel that we can always bring down our banquet tables and set them on the grass. That's how we do our outdoor weddings in the past.
Right.
In case people I figure the lunch crowd will have enough with that. But let's say we have a little event, or guys are it's spring, it's nice out there, they want to spend some time out here. We can definitely put those banquet tables with some tables spread out on the grass if needed.
Okay. Now the checking in will be done outside still, or do you want? Are you gonna bring them into the clubhouse and certain people? What's easier for you guys? What would be the best thing?
We're gonna look at everything right now. I got Oscar after the meeting. We're gonna sit down and look at. Well, because if they come sit up here, well, they're obviously going to want drinks and refreshments and, maybe some food and all that. So we're almost thinking of, having a guy upstairs and still have the check-in downstairs. Or at that point, last year during Sundowners, we would have a little table outside by the clubhouse and people would come check in there. It's a lot, people are going to get to the point where they get a little frustrated. Well, hey, I thought checking in was over there. Now you got me over here. But hopefully they'll understand that we're just trying our best, and hopefully eventually they'll be able to walk in the pro shop, because it benefits also because they're going to buy a cap, a shirt, some balls. It'll help our merchandise also. So we're as anxious as them to get them inside the clubhouse to try and upsell a little bit. But I think for now we're going to keep the pro shop downstairs just to keep it that, and they know that they can upstairs, and we'll have a waiter or wait staff ready to charge them whatever they want up here for the first week or two. And like I said, maybe by 2 or 3 weeks, the numbers are so good that we can open the upstairs 50%. At that point, it's, we just move completely upstairs.
Okay. So you think your plan is to still have the check-in downstairs, but have the restaurant or they want to drink beer or eat or whatever, they're going to be upstairs as well. Is that,
We'll have a
you
waitress. We'll have a waitress up here, or
Okay.
two. Like on the weekends, we'll definitely have two or three because it could get busy. But during the week, we'll have a person kind of up here starting like at 11 until around 8 or 9 when the sun goes down, because that's probably when we'll get most of our golfers will come in after like 4 or 5 anyway. But we will get a lunch crowd once they find out that they can come and sit down. Right now, we still get about 15, 20 lunches that come from curbside from the area, whether it be customs or forwarding agencies that come pick up their food every day.
Okay. And you'll have full-blown kitchen next week, once you
Yeah,
open.
we've always had a full-blown kitchen, except that our menu items were lessened just because of the way Cisco was, pricing and all that stuff. So we just kind of minimized it. But we'll go back to a full-size menu with pasta on the menu and things like that Lorenzo likes to cook.
Okay. All right. Committee members, any other questions on the clubhouse opening or any other suggestions that we wanted to look at?
I have one. I think we missed an opportunity. I just thought about it right now, and it's not necessarily because I don't know the rules about that open space in front of the barn where you check in. There's what do you call it?
We've actually talked about it, Rick. We wanted to get the 20 by 20 tent and put it there. Would have been an awesome opportunity, but like Coach said, we kind of have to be the keepers of the gate.
Yeah, no, that's correct. But I'm thinking more now as you open that up, as you open upstairs up and you leave it open for outdoor use only, that it's not limited, let's say, to that. Let's say you bring in all the players as we have every weekend, which is great. But they might not fit up there, but they have a location to sit down there, and we can continue that. But I mean, obviously that requires, I don't even know if we have the added tables and all that kind of stuff. But it's just another avenue for us to have people, enjoy the experience out there a little bit more.
Yeah. I don't know if you recall. That was the original clubhouse when we first opened. It was outdoor with a tent. It was it was fun and it was good. And I don't see why we couldn't do it if Coach gave us the permission.
Honestly, go ahead.
It's gonna split our labor, because now we're gonna have people upstairs to be waiters and downstairs. So it's just gonna be a little bit more. But if we're selling beer, that's not a problem.
Right.
I'm sorry to interrupt y'all. This is Joaquin.
Go ahead, Woody.
So I don't know. So when you're done with 18, you know how there's second parking level at the top near the clubhouse?
Mm-hmm.
I know that when I'm done with my group, all of the carts kind of park there, and that's when people start like talking and stuff. Is it possible to put some tables and chairs out there in that little area? I mean, people congregate there after the round anyway. I might as well have a couple of tables and chairs there where people can maybe sit down, hang out, and beer can be sold.
Yeah, I don't see why not. As long as we get the go ahead from the city, I don't see why we wouldn't. We have the banquet tables upstairs that we can just pull down. It's very basic, a white banquet table with some black chairs.
Yeah.
And we could try that, or maybe now they'll see that the back patio is open and they can. But the benefit of what you're talking about, Joaquin, is that everybody likes to see the other players that they're betting against finish up on 18.
For sure.
Yeah, so it's very cool.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then the awesome comments of, he's not gonna make that. He's not gonna make that. It's to win the match. He ain't gonna make it.
Yeah, and, we could definitely do something, and we just got to make sure that, because all that's a fire lane. But I think if we get it closer to the clubhouse, where you're actually between, inside the little area where the fire lane ends, we could definitely do something there, and you see how it goes.
I mean, Dennis, we should be okay with that as long it's outdoors anyway. So as long as you say that you identify that that's part of an extension of the outdoor clubhouse, I don't think there should be a problem.
Yeah, and the only reason why I bring it up is because it broke my heart when I was playing at the max 9 a.m. with my group, and then Paga's there, and then I hear Paga saying, "All right, we're gonna go count the scores at Casablanca." I was like, "Are you freaking kidding me?"
Gonna go count the what?
They were after Paga was done playing, they went to Casablanca to go tally up scores Yeah, paga. After that, after the round at the max, they went to Casablanca to go count up their scores and
I
drink
see.
beer at Casablanca. It
I
broke my
understand.
heart.
Yeah.
It
No,
broke
no,
my
you're right.
heart.
You're right. Yeah. So that's a good idea, Mr. Joaquin. And I think now that hopefully by next Friday we can have everybody back and going. And I know the Max will put it on their social media that we will be opening at 50% and all that. So that way we won't have that incident happen anymore. Yeah, we'll keep them there. Okay. Any other concerns, comments on the openings?
Oh, just another one. Speaking of social media, um, everybody that's on this committee should be on the loop with everything that's going on over there. Because I know that, and I don't know how it works, Dennis. I don't even know how you're supposed to sign up to be part of Facebook with you guys or not. But maybe just so that the new members can know how they can be on the loop with everything that's going on out there. Do we have to have you on Facebook, or is there a separate group chat that goes on in there that we might not know about, so that everybody can be we can all be knowing exactly what's going on out there, so we can promote it even.
Okay, sorry, got disconnected, but I'm back on.
Yeah, Dennis, I was saying that speaking of social media, okay, for the members, for the new members' sake, is most of your communication with the outside world through the Max Facebook account, or is there something else that we should know about so that we can all be on the same loop and help promote everything that's going on out there?
Right now, social media, if you notice, we got our new system. And this new system, we're collecting everybody's emails, especially through the app. So eventually what's going to happen is we're going to be able to also communicate through the app and do marketing through that. So you can get, obviously if you turn off your notifications, we won't be able to get it to you. But that'll be somewhat, another, maybe some people aren't in the social media, realm of, checking things, but if they're on our app, they'll get a push. And then we're going to be able to do also super hot sale. We can press there 2:00, fire sale, $18 round, and boom, whoever gets it first. So there's a lot of things coming down the pipe with this new software that we got. That'll help. And but yeah, usually right now it's all social media.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. All right, next item is items for next meeting. I think the first thing we should do is before we brought anything else, committee members, is the next meeting date to see what will be so we can put on our calendar. Um, if we go a month from now, we're looking around April the 15th. Oh, that's tax day. All right, it's not tax day anymore, right?
No,
No,
move it.
and extended.
Thank goodness. Um, so possibly April the 15th at 12 o'clock.
That works for me.
Can I bring something up, Coach? With regard to our next meeting, is there a possibility that we can actually meet together, like at the airport, the way we used to,
I have a suggestion, maybe at the Max, since it's outdoors.
I agree.
or at the Mac?
I agree. Yes, maybe we can meet outside at the Max. That way we can see all the setup and we can have an idea. And hopefully we'll have a layout of where the lights might be. We can actually get a card each and go show them, look, this is where it's going to be in lights. So we can see the diagram. So maybe we can meet April 15th at the Max
That'd be
at,
great.
at 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bring cash for afterwards.
There'll be a tournament afterwards, huh? A putting tournament.
Rick, you make the motion. Rick, you want to make the motion to see if everybody agrees on that?
Just a comment also again before we go and everything and with all due respect to all our new members, Fernando, it's awesome to see you and Rick to see that you're here. The idea also and to really encourage everybody on this committee to continue to a lot of things don't come up right now at this committee level, but do not hesitate to email JJ or Dennis on any ideas or any questions that you might have or any suggestions that you might have. It all prepares us for next month's meeting and setting up our agenda items that we go along with. I feel that the more information we get out to them, the more of our interest and everything that we're trying to put together here is only going to benefit the Max Golf Course. So anything that you guys have that you didn't think about right now and you want to discuss at next month's meeting, do not hesitate to email either Dennis or preferably to JJ directly so that he can put it up on the agenda and we can kick it around and go over it. And that way, I feel that that's the only way we're going to accomplish a lot of big things as we move forward. So I just encourage you to do that. If there's any more questions, I'd like to call for the question for the adjournment of the meeting. Do I get a second on that?
Second.
All those in favor for adjournment?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Meeting is now adjourned. Have a great day, everybody.
Good day. See you on the
Hey,
15th.
gentlemen, we'll see you next time. You have a good day.
You too.